Hey guys. I figured I might as well make a video. Again, it's not a very positive video, but I'm posting it on this channel because I decided to keep the main channel just strictly art and music, because I figured that most of the people that subscribe don't even care about what I'm going through or even care about me in general. So I decided to say, screw it, I'm gonna post on this channel. So um, I'm not okay, to be honest with you. For those of you that are familiar with what I'm dealing with right now, this won't come as a surprise to you, but for those of you that don't know, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. It just seems like ever since I graduated from university last year, things have just gradually just gotten more and more quiet as time has progressed, and I thought things around me were dying now. Nah, nah. If only I knew how even more isolated I was gonna become as soon as I graduated. If only if I knew. I mean, at least when I was in university, right? At least when I was in Viscom, at least when I was in the visual communications program, right? Even though that program was terrible, it was bullshit. As terrible as Viscom was, right? At least I was surrounded by people that I felt like I could have talked to at the time, even though those people didn't really last, even though those people didn't really care about me because I had nothing to offer whatever selfish, immature desires that these fuckers had at the time. It felt like I was like the only person that was like, I don't know, consciously aware in a classroom full of like children still playing, children that are now playing as adults now. I got these like 19, 20, 21 year old students that I was with. Just acting like they're grown ups when they're still mentally children. And imagine having to go to a classroom dealing with people like that. I mean, it was isolating, yeah, but at least it felt like I was progressing somewhere. At least it felt like, but at least I felt like at the time that I was progressing somewhere. At least it felt like, I was investing in something that was going to benefit me long term. And I thought over the years that I was going to eventually get the BFA, but I never got it. I ended up getting a BGS degree. And I've been trying to apply for jobs that are related to graphic design. Nobody wants to hire me because I don't have the BFA, regardless if I have a portfolio or not. I wasted all of my money. I wasted all of my money, trying to keep up the Squarespace domain active. I couldn't afford the domain anymore. I canceled my subscription to Squarespace, and now my another link to my portfolio is currently inactive as of right now. I've been unemployed for 9 months. I finally got hired somewhere, but is that some fast food job? I didn't think I was ever gonna have to go back to working fast food, but here I am working fast food again. 9 months later, and I've been working at this restaurant since February 10th of this year, and I have to go to work tomorrow, and and Monday and Tuesday specifically, I got to deal with one of my coworkers who just has a bad attitude. He always comes in pissed off at for some. He always comes in pissed off, and I'm like, look, I don't want to be here either, but yeah, I don't lash out at people because I just don't. I'm not that kind of person where I just lash out at people. I keep it to myself. But I got to deal with this guy's attitude tomorrow. I am getting ready to just tell the manager on the guy and tell the manager that, hey, his attitude stinks. I'm getting tired of working with him. Tell him to correct it. Tell him to correct his attitude, or just not have me work with him. That's basically how I'm gonna go about it. But but I'm not really making this video to talk about my job specifically. Well, besides the fact that, I can add one more thing. They did give me back my days. It was just for 1 week, but they did give me back my days. So I'm working, 3 to 4 days a week. But this week in particular, I was working I'm about to work for, in this week in particular. But anyways, I digress. So I haven't been feeling too well as far as where I'm at right now in my life, which correlates back to university. At least back in university, things felt like, you know, I was progressing. It felt like I was gonna it was gonna all this was gonna lead me somewhere. All the money I wasted on these art shows was gonna lead me somewhere, and unfortunately, it didn't. These scumbags, these scumbag judges at these art shows, they're most likely sleeping in bed with these professors, and they just gave me some bullshit ass, participation trophy basically, and they expected me to just accept it and just suck it up. Well, at least it's better than nothing. Nah. If you're just gonna give me a, if you're just gonna give me an honorable mention, you're better off just not giving me anything at all and just overlooking my shit. Yeah, those art shows are rigged. They're just like everything else in that stupid ass fucking program. But, anyways, I digress. I don't know where life is taking me. I'm scared I'm never gonna have friends. I'm scared that I'm never gonna find love ever again. I've been trying dating apps, and like I said in my other video, in my previous video, dating is a joke. I get ghosted. Nothing ever goes anywhere. And honestly, over the years, I kind of just realized that love is something that you don't need to perform to have. That love is not something that you have to like keep performing or putting up an act just to get. It's not something that you have to chase for, and I've been witnessing that time and time again. And every day I'm just fighting the urge and not to, waste money talking to somebody who is gonna pretend to give a shit about my fucking problems. And I know you guys are gonna call me stupid for doing this, but you have to keep in mind I've been carrying everything alone for years, and a part of me just wanted some sort of hope in my life that all this was gonna be for something. So I'm gonna say, I spent a lot of money on psychics over the years. In particular, particularly this one person, and she told me that things were gonna get better as soon as I graduated. That I was gonna start my career, no matter what degree I got. That I was gonna meet somebody. I was gonna be somebody that actually genuinely cared about me. I was actually gonna be in a relationship. And none of that ever happened for me. None of that ever happened for me. I never got any friends either while I just sat on the sidelines and watched everybody else get what I wish I fucking had. And some of these people didn't even go to college, but they ended up getting what I wish I fucking had. Which was, that relationship, that friend group, that social life, things that I never fucking got. And I just feel like I've just been lied to my whole life. I've been told that if I focus on school, that everything was gonna like magically fall into place, and that didn't happen for me. Instead, what I got was the same old bullshit. Constantly being disrespected, constantly just being disrespected, constantly being treated like shit. Constantly having to scrap for fucking peanuts and cashews every 2 weeks. I mean, constantly having to scrap for cashews and peanuts and getting it as a check every 2 weeks. It's just more of the same. Went through 9 months of uncertainty, went through 9 months of isolation just to become employed again, and working at the same type of environment that I thought I was never gonna have to be in ever again. Just dealing with more of the same, constantly being disrespected, constantly being treated like shit. Nothing good ever changing for me. Nothing good ever changes for me. When I'm not at work, I'm here, and I constantly feel like I constantly feel pressured by my parents to finally start working a real job, a real job. And it's like given how the economy is right now, how the fuck do you expect me to be able to get a real job if the economy in these employers simply won't give me that fucking ladder so I could be able to start my fucking career already? I mean, my parents are so stupid. They think that just because there's job postings on these websites, they think that all these jobs are available for the taking. They think all these jobs are real, and it's like, no, there's not. Most of these jobs are fucking fake. Most of these companies are just putting these fake jobs on these like job boards just to make it look like as if these companies are actually thriving when they're actually not. But my dumbass parents, they don't want to believe it. And I literally just got into an argument with my mom, and she's over here instigating shit between me and my dad. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's so easy for you to talk shit about me because you stayed at the same fucking job for the past, like, basically my entire life. My mom's a teacher, in case if you don't know. My mom's an elementary school teacher. She never left that job. Never left it for years. Well, I would say for 2 decades. Never left that job. Never left. Been working at that same teaching job for over 20 years. I even went to that school when I was in elementary school. So it's so easy for her to say shit like that when she never even had to leave her fucking job, or let alone ever have to quit. She doesn't know what it's like. So it's easy for her to be condescending. It's so easy for her to come up with all these bullshit narratives in her fucking head about me that aren't true at all. But that's literally what I have to deal with. I mean, I would say that like the only good thing that's happened this past week was that I finally passed my emissions test for my car. So all my dad got to do is just pay $10 for the registration sticker, and I'm good for the rest of this year. But I just don't want to deal with me coming home already tired, my feet sore as a motherfucker, right? And having my dad already fucking pester me about like, hey Adrian, I made this profile for you for so and so company. I made a profile for you for this warehouse place that's very hard to get into, and yada yada yada, all this and that. I'm like, yada yada yada. Already annoying me with all this bullshit when I'm already fucking tired. When I'm already gonna be fucking tired. And I should have told my mom that like, I should have told my mom, this past Friday. You know what? I mean, I should have told my mom that this past Friday, once August comes, like once I turn 26 in late August of this year, just throw me out. Just throw me out. I don't give a fuck anymore. Just throw me out. I don't care what happens to me anymore. I really don't fucking care what happens to me anymore. Just fucking throw me out. I don't fucking care. I'm done. I just accepted. I mean, I just accepted that that this is what is inevitably gonna happen to me, and I don't fucking care anymore. I'm done. I'm never gonna get into a relationship with nobody. I'm just gonna die bitter and alone. And in a world that is indifferent towards me and most likely whoever the fuck watches this damn video. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. I mean, my main channel is fucking dead. No one gives a fuck anymore. And it's like anytime I ever act vulnerable in these types of videos, right? These people they just cower away like a bunch of pussies. But it doesn't really surprise me one bit. You know, social media. People love to act performative on fucking social media. Put up an act, pretend that everything's okay in their fucking lives. It just got a lot more isolating ever since I started cutting off a bunch of people because a lot of these people they were treating me differently online. It just felt like I was giving more to the dynamic than I was receiving. I was just giving, and I got nothing in return. I got ostracized while everybody else were all supporting each other online, and ever since I graduated, and on the day I got that bachelor's degree, now all these people want to care about me. Now all these people want to show support for me, and then when I go back to posting my usual stuff, everybody just goes quiet, walks away, and I got tired of people not showing up when it mattered, so I cut off like 16, 17 people, and just recently, over this past month, I ended up deleting two people that I actually grew up with when I was a kid. I just came to terms that you know these connections are dead. They do nothing for me but just drag me down, and now I'm at this point where it's like I don't know where life is gonna take me. I don't know what's gonna happen to me. I don't know if things are gonna get better. I really don't know. I lost all the hope, and I'm honestly scared to hope because I've been hoping for years. I've been hoping for the past 9 fucking years that things were gonna get better, and it never did. It's just been the same old, same old. It just feels like I'm still living the same life as I did when I turned 18, and it just feels like I'm just still living the same life as I did when I graduated high school at 17 and started community college when I was 18 back in late 2018. But except this time there is no college no more because I graduated. So no more community college, no more university. Those days are over, and I was just like I'm just like in this weird quiet space, and it's just like I don't know what's gonna come out of it. I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm scared. I'm alone, and the people around me don't have the bandwidth to hear what I have to say. And I'm really fighting the urge not to talk to that fucking psychic and waste hundreds of dollars talking to her. Just to have some sort of feeling that somebody actually gave a shit about what I'm going through. So, and I don't feel safe talking to my family because all they want to do is just fucking start shit and instigate shit. So, I don't know. I don't know. I got nothing else to say. This video's done.